You know, I have some advice for Gen Z. And this is not specific to any country. For once, thank goodness. Everybody is like, thank goodness. No, this is just specific to the generation, Gen Z. I have some advice. Now, this advice is going to sound a bit odd. But when you think about it, it's going to make sense. If I would have one recommendation for something that you do that other previous generations didn't do adequately enough or sufficiently, my one piece of advice is to expand your bubble. Broaden your horizon. You're thinking, how do I do this? How do I expand my bubble? Broaden my horizon. Please don't put it into Chat GPT as everyone is doing nowadays. No. The way you do this is kind of expand your footprint. Make your radius further away. You know, it's amazing, and this is really true. So many folks grow up in one community and they stay there, never traveling further than maybe 10 or 15 miles, if that, from where they live. So, what occurs in someone's mind who does this, and this happens by the millions, is that you start to think that everything on the planet, in the world, operates the same way your little area does. So my one piece of advice for Gen Z youth, expand your radius. Go further. Explore. You see, I see that hashtag explore. Yeah, they're trying to tell you, young people, to explore more. Don't be like your crazy, abusive, elderly folks who you know in your communities. Leave them behind. You can always come back. See, that's what the older generation's hang-up was. They got told that if you go outside, it's no guarantee you're going to come back inside. You won't be safe. So they formed this terrorism of the mind, and it hijacked it from exploring. And I don't want that to occur with you, the young people. Explore. And exploring doesn't have to be costly. You know, some people are going to say, oh, well, exploring, I have to have a lot of money to explore. No. You can hop your ass city that you've never been to. If you don't have a bus available and your friend has a vehicle, ask them would they be willing to drive you to another community that you've never been to and just explore it for the day. Now you're like Dora the Explorer. You've explored something new. You've seen that everything doesn't operate the way you're accustomed to. You know, that's also problematic too. When you're around the same thing, the same people, you sort of kind of get stuck in this bubble and think that everyone, because they're around you, operates, believes, just like you. And some people will say, I explore by watching television. That's an exploration. Some people will say, I explore by browsing the internet. That's an exploration, technically. But it's only of the mind. It's not an exploration of your other senses. You didn't physically go out and explore. You're sedentary, exploring with your mind. Now, is one better than the other? No, not necessarily. But you know, on television and likewise the internet, that's based off of algorithmic features. You know, when you watch Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, you watch one movie, and then they will recommend movies based off a percentage of something you just previously watched, and say that because you watch this show, you're most likely to enjoy these other shows we're recommending. They're similar. So, even what you watch nowadays is pretty much tailored to your bubble. Young people in general really have to explore. They have to expand their radius. Modernization, not just in technology, in all fashions, require exploration nowadays. You know, you might get a new idea if you do something new. A lot of reasons why numbskulls in our society that we're prevalent to seeing and hearing from. A lot of reasons why numbskulls never offer up new ideas, are never creative and innovative. It's because they don't explore. And I don't want a lot of Gen Z people who I think are very gifted and have high potential everywhere, whether they be in China or America or Russia, Ukraine, Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, Mexico, Colombia, Argentina. Wherever Gen Z people are, I think you have a lot of potential. But you need that exploration to really mold and shape that potential. And I don't want you to make the mistake of being afraid to explore as other generations before you were so seldom at the thought of exploration. You know, some people say we had to explore in order to conquer and create things. Yes, but in modern society, after things were industrialized, simplified, people's tenacity for exploration dwindled. And it's only now that the younger generation, Gen Z, has this unquenchable thirst for exploration, which I think is phenomenal. And I just want to encourage you to go forth and do it. Be bold and explore. There's dangers in exploration. I'm not gonna lie or deceive you. But there's also great benefits in exploration. And the benefits, by and large and in vast quantity, outweigh the dangers. Ooh, in your small town, you can get into an argument with a neighbor, and they unalive you. So danger befalls us everywhere. We shouldn't succumb to the terrorization of danger as a motive and premise for lack of exploration. Gen Z, don't just explore at your fingertips with your eyes and your brain. Go out and physically do exploration. You know, physical exploration can't be understated because you're physically experiencing the process of exploration. That's important. Travel, but also another form of exploration that a lot of people sort of kind of push away is conversation. And not conversation with the same old group of friends who you've known. Not conversation with your family, but conversation with folks who you don't know. That's important. You know, a lot of older folks have very close, tight-knit circles of people who they communicate with. And outside of that tiny, narrow scope of people, there's no communication whatsoever. It's really amazing. Folks think a lot of people know a lot of people, but that's not true. Most people only communicate with less than 3 to 5 people per day. Think about that. And those generally tend to be the same people you know and you communicate with on a frequent basis. We made new friends. Can you believe that? In 2023, we made new friends. And I'm not going to ruin new friendships that we just made off the basis of ignorance from perhaps past friendships. So that's what happens too when you explore. You make new connections, new friendships. And it doesn't mean that we have to leave the past friendships behind. But we do have to explore Gen Z. And I really think that Gen Z, you have a good, rosy outlook as a generation. You really do. But I wanted to put that on your plate. Expanding your radius and exploring. I think if you add that into the mix, the batter is going to taste great. I'm really hopeful for Gen Z. That's another thing. I'm really proud of what I'm seeing in all the survey and data for Gen Z. Not just in America, but globally everywhere. Whatever continent, whatever country, the data is bearing out that Gen Z is open-minded, tolerant, less bigoted and hateful, displaying more empathy and kindness. These are all good things. Look, you might get criticized for them, but let's take into account who's doing the criticizing. It's the folks who have a tiny bubble, a narrow radius, and haven't expanded their horizons. If those are the folks criticizing me, well, I'll be on my way to my next exploration. And that's how you should look at it, Gen Z. Because that's all they know. And you know more. So go out and explore more. And every once in a while you can send a postcard back telling them about your newfound adventures. And maybe, just maybe, based off of your exploration, they won't be so terrified. It's a big, bold, badass world out there, Gen Z. Go tame it and control it.